Hey there, comic book fans. I just felt like making a video tonight, so I figured I'd grab some stuff off my shelf to look at. And I've been having such a good time reading those Marvel True Believers comics that I decided to pull. I got a stack of Millennium editions that I got when they came out. So as you might imagine, they came out at the Millennium. So what is it? May 2000s. It's hard to believe these are freaking 18 years old. Going on 19. But these have just been sitting on my shelf for 18 years. I haven't looked at them any. I'm not even sure what ones off the top of my head I got here. So I figured I'd look at them with you. I pulled them down, unlooked at, and we'll just take out the covers. Maybe we'll open one. Matter of fact, we'll open the first one. There's the Flash, 123, Golden Age Flash races into the silver, and as you can see, they all have a gold seal on them. And rather than doing a straight up reprint of the color, they did this cover. They did this tilted version of the. I would have rather they did the whole cover, but oh well. You can't have anything. How much were these? And $2.50 they retailed for. And nice printing on them. They don't have the glossy paper. It looks nice matte colored finish paper. Matte finish paper. And yeah, pretty nice stuff. Wonder what I've got here. Excellent shot of the Flash there. There's the first one. Let's stick it back in its bag. And here's Plop. Look at that. Who would have guessed they'd put out July 2000? And I actually collected. I actually didn't pay for. I don't think I paid for any of these. And that I used to collect them when I worked at Marvel, and they'd be hanging around the office or whatever. And people would just in their weekly bundles, which I didn't get one of, but that's a whole other story. So I just collect them from people who didn't want them. I'd be like, oh, I'll take that one. I'll take that one. So there's Plop. This is DC's Humor magazine from the early 70s. This is a weird one to choose to reprint, I think. But Basil Wolverton. Let's open it up. Because I want to see. Basil Wolverton, of course, is the famous Golden Age artist. Known for his monsters and weird. There's, of course, some Sergio Aragones. What else do we have in here? Frank Robbins doing some comedy. That's Frank Robbins' artwork right there. I've seen him more Sergio. No, Dan DiCarlo, pardon me. Abrams. So this was DC's Humor magazine. Bernie Wrightson. Look at that. Got a Bernie Wrightson page. Pardon me. Hold on. Where's the cough button? More Bernie. Bernie Wrightson was in Plop. I didn't even realize. And here is Sugar and Spike. How come this isn't a Millennium edition? What is this from? On the back. This is just a Sugar and Spike reprint? Sugar and Spike. This was the long-running Sheldon Mayer comic of the two little kids, Sugar and Spike. And this is Sugar and Spike Replica Edition 2002. So I must have collected this when I was working at Marvel too. Not a Millennium edition, but a replica edition. Wonder what other ones they put out of this. I don't even remember the replica editions, really. I remember the Millenniums, but there you go, Sugar and Spike. There's Superboy. Boy of Steel soars into his own title. Like I said, those True Believers have really given me a new appreciation for reprints. So this one feels a little thicker. February 2001 and $2.95 instead of $2.50. This one must have been a thicker. Was that Superboy number? Superboy number 1. Pretty neat. House of Mystery. Wow, that's pretty cool. House of Mystery number 1. Oh, it's got the Vertigo logo on it. Like Vertigo was around in 1950, whatever. Featuring Wanda was a werewolf. I fell in love with a witch. Nice cover there. Some good drawings on it. Mysterious suspense. Oh, this is a DC bought the Charlton stuff, so here's a Charlton. The Question, right? He was originally a Ditko. Let's open this up. I don't remember ever reading this, but it was a long time ago. September 2000. I'm going to go back and read some. Oh, wow. What a nice splash page that is, huh? Nice Ditko splash. Is that That doesn't even look like Ditko. It's gonna... No, it's somebody else. There's a name down there. Rolk or something. So, I'm not sure who that is, but it's not Ditko. But I like that guy in a suit. There's some Ditko. That Charlton lettering. It's like typeset lettering of some kind. But yeah, some nice Ditko. And here's look at that. This another non-DC Millennium book. This is back when I don't know if does DC still have the Spirit license or does someone else have it? I know they reprinted all the Spirit stuff in those archive editions, but here is Will Eisner's classic hero makes his solo comic debut. So this isn't the strip. This may have been a comic book itself. Pretty cool. This was another $2.95 one. Feels thicker. Young Romance. Some Jack Kirby and Joe Simon. Nice drawing right there of that woman in red. Simon and Kirby create the romance comic. There we go. Even says so right there. All True Love Stories. May 2000. This one's cover dated. Oh, look at this. Dennis O'Neil and Neil Adams' first tale of the Dark Knight. I offer you instant immortality or instant death. Choose now, Batman. Let's open this one up. Get a look at some Neil Adams. When he first teamed up with Denny O'Neil. Nice. Classic Neil Adams jumping Batman right there. So again, I'm going to go back and reread all these because I'm not even sure I read them all back in 2000. I was just kind of collecting them because they were neat. I have to go now that I've got this new appreciation for reprints. I'm going to have to go back and read all my reprints. What else we have here? The Girl of Steel joins the Superman family. 250. Now, was this I can't remember. Was this the fake Supergirl or the real Supergirl? I know there was a fake Supergirl first, but I'm not that familiar. That I can't remember if this was the fake one or the real one. Action 252, but cool stuff. The start of the Silver Age. The first appearance of the Silver Age Flash showcase. I don't think I read a reprint of this many years ago. Not this particular reprint, so I'm going to go back and check that one out. Whiz Comics. The very first Captain Marvel. The newsstand debut of another extra thick one. This one was $3.95. So I must reprint the whole issue because I can feel it's thicker. Matter of fact, let's open it up and see what's in the first issue of Captain Marvel. Why not? There we go. The original Captain Marvel. Was that C.C. Beck drew the original Captain Marvel, I think? Ibis. It even tells you the pronunciation there. Pronounced Ibis. Now we got some cowboy stuff. Spy Smasher. So his name there. Scoop Smith. Go down and check this out again. Whiz Comics. Very cool. Very cool. House of Secrets 92. This is the first the first Swamp Thing. Bernie Wrightson cover. And for those of you who don't know, that Louise Simonson, then Louise Jones, is modeled for Bernie for this cover. So that's a picture of Louise Simonson from way back when. How can you not like that beautiful cover? Looks like he did it with some texture. Nice stuff. Here's the new direction for Superman in the 70s. One of the Kryptonite Nevermore Breaking the Chains covers. There's a classic. Superman's pal, Jimmy Olsen. I have a soft spot for Jimmy Olsen. I first started reading Jimmy Olsen comics. Oh God, probably in the early '80s when I started reading. What's his name? Fred M. Hembeck had a magazine where he just drew cartoons and talked about comics in the magazine. It came out in the late '70s, early '80s, called Ba Hembeck, The Bride of Hembeck. I think it was called Hembeck Magazine, but each one had a theme. And he talked a lot about old Jimmy Olsen comics. So that made me go and pick some up back in the early '80s, and I used to enjoy reading them. But I haven't read this one in ages. We'll have to check that out. And Sergeant Rock blazes into action for the first time. Our Army at War, The Rock of Easy Company. Let's look at this one. Was it, what's his name, Joe Kubert? Did he do the first Sergeant Rock? Or is that Russ Heath? I don't know. Let's see, who did the first Sergeant Rock? That looks like Kubert. But I'm still not positive. Yeah, oh. Because the inks are so much neater. Did they give us a credit on here? Robert Kanigher wrote it. Thousands. Come on, tell us who drew it. It continued on the inside back cover. Russ Heath. Yeah, they mentioned that might be Russ Heath. Up with art by Joe Kubert in piano. Okay, so that must be some Joe Kubert early on, but it. Oh, and there's Russ Heath. I don't know my Sergeant Rock artist that well, especially the very first issue, but I think that first story was Joe Kubert and the second was Russ Heath. Oh, and what's this? Another reprint. Ah, I guess the Millennium stuff is over. I guess that they put out these 99-cent samplers. World's Best Comics, Sylvan Age. So, you know, I just picked it up and saved it, threw it in with my reprints. World's Best Comics, classics from the Golden Age. I mean, how can you go wrong there? Nice. Let's look at these covers one more time before I end this video. Side by side, why not? Our Army at War, Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen, Superman, reinvigorated in the '70s, House of Secrets, some Whiz comics, Showcase featuring the Flash, Action Comics, Detective Comics, Batman and Robin, Young Romance, The Spirit, Mysterious Suspense, Return, The Question, House of Mystery, Superboy, Sugar and Spice. I wonder if there's any of these other facsimile editions out there. I'll have to look those up. Plop, and The Flash of Two Worlds. Alright, there's a nice look at some of these reprints. I'm glad I got to take, I figured since I was going to take a look at them, we'd take a look at them together, and now I'm going to go read a couple of them. You guys all have a good week out there.